Hafa day, welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Tyler Matanani. Glad you could join us. Superintendent John Fernandez says he was disappointed after hearing the comments made by Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas regarding the 17 GDOE nurses sent to assist on the front lines. Earlier in the week, Posadas told KUAM, quote, "Things just did not pan out," unquote, after only 8 nurses remain with GMH helping respond to COVID-19. Based on the governor's directive, some GDOE nurses were sent to public health and others with more experience went through orientation to serve the hospital. Fernandez says he has a good relationship with Posadas and has connected with her several times on the issue.
There has been an ongoing shortage of skilled nurses at the hospital. This has happened before COVID-19. So we understand the needs that are there. But number two, we do have nurses who are registered registered nurses who are licensed nurses at our schools, but essentially they function as community health nurses, just like the nurses at public health. And if anybody in the nursing profession understands there's different levels of specialties. I know they went through training and orientation, and at some point when we met, I think GMH basically decided that training and orientation might not be the best use of their resources because of that. That process and the expending that time to get them fully equipped to be independently functioning at the hospital.
According to Fernandez, the nurses who are no longer at GMH did not go home. They have been transferred to public health. The government of Guam, along with current leaseholder CAPFA Capital Corp., was successful in refunding the Series 2010 certificates of participation for the John F. Kennedy High School project and securing $9 million to finance solar and associated energy improvement projects for the home of the islanders. With the support and assistance of the Office of the Governor, the Bureau of Budget and Management Research, the Department of Administration, and the Guam Economic Development Authority, the government was successful in selling $64.5 million in refunding and solar project COPs with a net present value savings of $7.9 million. This effort achieved upfront savings for the general fund, and the fiscal year 2021 savings of approximately $3 million will be used to fund the budget shortfall of the Guam Department of Education. There will be significant savings realized once the solar and energy improvement project is completed by the end of the next summer. Despite coming into a municipal market where trading was weak and yields on the AAA scales were on the rise, the performance of the JFK refunding COPs was robust with $568 million. This was the lowest TIC for a long-term Guam General Fund lease transaction. The closing of the bonds is scheduled for late Tuesday, October 13th. Joint Region Marianas was awarded $2 million in support of a cooperative agreement with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Marine Corps Base Camp Blas Environmental Director Al Borges says, quote, "The cooperative agreement with the foundation, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and our GovGuam partners will build much-needed capacity, foster collaborative partnerships, and implement landscape-level off-base projects in support of our island-wide species recovery goals," unquote. The next step is for stakeholders to develop an implementation plan and prioritize habitat parcels. The 2020 Guam census concluded on September 30. Peter Santos has more on what will be done with all the data collected and how COVID affected their operations.
From in-person data collection to over-the-phone questionnaires, the 2020 census was a success, according to the Bureau's Bernie Guinness and Tarina Long.
We are so happy with the response that we received from the community. We were able to account for every household on Guam, which is a huge feat.
Tarina Long of the Census Bureau says that conducting a census during a pandemic was not without its hurdles.
The pandemic certainly changed our entire operation. I alluded to it before, but initially we were just strictly paper-based in-person data collection only, which meant that we had to go knock on doors, and that was the only method of data collection that was offered to us at the beginning of the operation.
Long says the transition was rough.
That has been the biggest challenge, to go from one data collection mode to a different one entirely in under 6 weeks, and to make that fully successful. But that's, for me as the advisor, I think that was the biggest challenge.
Census Bureau's Bernie Guinness added that logistics and training were some of the other obstacles that the Bureau had to face.
logistically too, and getting all of the telephone equipment, ordering that. Certainly, you go through the government of Guam procurement, and just putting that all together in that short period of time when we got the approval to go ahead and open the call center, and we really totally switched gears. Having the staff retraining them, because again, early on we were training them for one particular mode of operation, which was face-to-face. The face-to-face interviews, and then we just totally shifted and have everything was now call center based, right? And it was through the phones and how to answer the phones properly, what you say, what you cannot say. So it was quite a challenge, and we had to kind of really restructure everything. So, but we did it.
Guinness says the work isn't over yet.
We are going through a follow-up phase. So the residents, the community will still be getting some phone calls in the next week or so. Until mid-October. It's pretty much a quality check of the questionnaires. The QC is not so long when they do place the calls to the community. It's not more than 5 minutes. We're just verifying and following up some of the questionnaires and some of the information provided in the questionnaires.
As the census team wraps up operations, Bernie and Torino wanted to take a moment to express their gratitude to everyone who made the 2020 census a success.
We really want to thank everyone who participated, the community, and also our partners. We have our local leaders, our trusted voices, our different business entities, our government partners, and just really everyone who participated. We're very proud of the team, proud of our management, and all the employees that we employed throughout this whole project. So we want to thank everyone.
I personally want to thank the leadership, to be honest, of the Bureau of Statistics and Plans, because for me as the advisor, I have to work closely with them. So the leadership from BSP has been amazing, the support that they've provided, especially as we had to change data collection modes. And then I want to thank everybody who participated.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Just for Kids is a segment where experts answer questions catered just to them. Today's guests are Dr. Michael and Dr. Amanda Del Rosario.
Day. I'm Dr. Amanda Del Rosario.
And I'm Dr. Michael and we're here to answer some of your questions about coronavirus.
Why is it important to wear a mask to help contain the coronavirus?
So coronavirus, or COVID, is a type of germ that is really contagious, and it is spread by these tiny little respiratory droplets. So these droplets live in our nose and mouth, and it's where we have like our boogers and mucus and phlegm. And so if Dr. Mike were to have COVID and he were to talk or cough or sneeze on me, then those little droplets can get into my mouth or my nose or my eyes, and that's how I can get infected. The coronavirus also lives on surfaces, so things like tables, doorknobs, our phones, tablets, and our hands. So then if Dr. Mike had COVID and he were to cough on his phone or pick his nose and then decide to touch his phone, then his phone would now be contaminated with COVID. And if he were to then show me something on his phone and I were to pick it up and look at it, well, I wouldn't know that it would be contaminated because the coronavirus germs are invisible. So then if I were to touch his phone and then touch my face or pick my nose or rub my eyes, well then the coronavirus can then enter my body, and that is another way that we can get infected. So now we know that coronavirus is spread by these little respiratory droplets from our nose and mouth. And you can see how wearing a mask is a super important way of protecting ourselves. So a mask covers our nose and mouth, and it makes it harder for the coronavirus to infect us. And so we always have to make sure that our mask is not only on, but that it fits well, covers our nose and mouth, and doesn't slide down our face while we're talking or moving around. So then if Dr. Mike has coronavirus, but he's wearing his mask while he's around me, then his mask helps block those contagious respiratory droplets from reaching me. And if I wear my mask, I also protect myself from breathing in those germs. And so if we all wear our masks, we protect ourselves and we also protect each other. And that way, the coronavirus won't be able to keep spreading and making people sick.
What are some of the symptoms of coronavirus?
When people get infected with coronavirus, some people will feel fine and not have any symptoms, so they won't even know that they're sick. Others might feel like they have a bad cold or a flu. So this could mean that they have a fever, cough, sore throat, headache, maybe some body aches. You might even have some stomach pain and some diarrhea. One weird symptom that older kids and grown-ups can have is that they lose their sense of taste and smell. And in some really bad cases of coronavirus, people can have difficulty breathing and end up in the hospital.
The good news is that for most kids and young people, coronavirus doesn't really make you feel all that sick. And your body's immune system is strong enough to fight the coronavirus and recover without any problems. But for older people like our grandparents or others who have health problems like asthma or diabetes, they can get really sick and have a much harder time fighting the coronavirus. So that's why it's so important for all of us to do our part in stopping the spread of coronavirus by wearing our masks, practicing good hand hygiene, and social distancing.
Why is social distancing important?
Social distancing or physical distancing means keeping a safe space between yourself and other people. To practice social distancing, you should stay about 6 feet away from other people who you don't live with. 6 feet apart is about the length of 2 big dogs put together, about 2 hula hoops, a carabao statue, the length of a door. So imagine a 6-foot circle around you, and you and the only people that are allowed in that circle are going to be the people you live with. That means when you're out of that house, you should try not to let anyone in that circle. That means no touching, hugging, or kissing. This might seem really hard to do, but remember, the coronavirus spreads when we're in close contact with other people. We know that the virus spreads when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. And those droplets can get launched in the air, and we can breathe them in, and they can get into our lungs, or they can land on our nose or our mouth. But if we stay 6 feet apart, it's harder for those droplets to get us, and they'll actually fall to the ground instead, and we're less likely to get infected. Since people can actually spread the virus before they know that they are infected, it is important to stay at least 6 feet away from others, even if they seem fine and do not have any symptoms.
All right, thanks for listening and stay safe.
If your children have questions, send them to joan@kuam.com. Please make sure to include in your video clip your name, age, and of course your question, and we'll make sure to get them answered. Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have trend spotting and still to come sports with Dave Delgado.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. CALVO'S Insurance, a legacy of trust.
"100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
the end of another lockdown week and COVID is still spreading like wildfire. But there were some other highlights this week. I'm Tyler Matanani, and here's your trend spotting report. It's another painful week under the Safer at Home order, and it's not getting much better. By the end of Thursday, 50 people were hospitalized for the virus, with 15 so critically ill they were under ICU care. COVID claimed 3 more lives this week as of Thursday. By Friday morning, there wasn't confirmation, but there was a lot of talk of possible outbreak among employees of a large retail store on island. The Links Sabrina and Chris tried to tease the information out from officials who wouldn't give in. The large retail store in Upper Tumon, however, did have signs outside that it would close for a couple of hours early Saturday morning for deep cleaning. As per casualties, we've got another big one this year thanks to the pandemic, All Souls Day. This week, the Archdiocese of Guam and the island cemeteries decided to cancel the annual event held at cemeteries. All Souls Day is a Catholic high holy day of obligation remembering our dead, and on Guam, it is a huge tradition. Residents clean up grave sites in the days and weeks ahead of All Souls Day, and thousands visit the cemeteries that day for Mass. To keep people from congregating and spreading COVID, cemeteries will close on All Souls Day and the weekend before it too. Here's Father Mike Chrysostomo.
But we're encouraging all of our people that Masses will be heard, so that's the important thing right now, is that you can go visit the gravesite now until those days or even after, but that throughout the day on November 2nd, all the 26 parishes, not just the cathedral, will have Masses for that intention.
Here are some of your thoughts on that. Maria Cruz comments, "May the perpetual light shine upon them, rest in peace." And Michael Cruz says, "It's okay to have a Mass inside, but not okay to have a Mass outside. What is the logic in that?" We know COVID is keeping kids out of classrooms and everyone has had to adjust, especially teachers. Despite the distance, we celebrated World Teachers Day this week, honoring the selfless educators inspiring and leading young minds. Even in the midst of a pandemic, teachers are committed to students, working creatively to keep children challenged. Over social media, we asked you to share a message with the teachers making a difference. Jessica on Instagram commented, "God bless our educators from support staff of each school, teachers, counselors, and the director." 3grand1113 says, "Thank you, especially to my daughter-in-law, Stephanie Flores Taitano, and my niece, Verna Chargloff Mendiola." Now to another student-related story. On Instagram, we shared the results of a University of Guam study on obesity in children. On Guam, the study found that more than a quarter of children were obese or overweight. That's 27% of kids from ages 2 to 8. The study surveyed 860 children and their caregivers and found that 99% of children did not consume the recommended daily fruit and vegetable intake, while 40% did not meet the recommended daily hours of sleep. Also, almost 85% of children had more than 2 hours a day of screen time, the recommended amount of time. The average was 5 hours. Co-author and program lead Rachel Leon Guerrero, a registered dietitian, said, quote, "The big and concerning take-home message is the unhealthy habits and behavioral patterns we found likely contributing to this high rate. Too much screen time, the processed and sugary foods and beverages, and most surprisingly, poor sleeping habits. It's a dangerous territory to be in since childhood weight issues can lead to obesity in adulthood, which only increases the risk for health problems like cardiovascular disease and cancer, among others. So we asked if you found it alarming and what should be done. And Leon Guerrero says, "Again, I must say it's because fruits and vegetables, among other healthy foods, cost so much, especially if you have to eat it 4 times per day." Mel Estoy says, prices for fruits and veggies is expensive versus fast and processed food. I think we'd all like to eat healthy, but as to feed a family, you need to maximize what you are able to provide. Susan S. says, especially now with the pandemic, video games, TikTok, and etc. Gina Marie Tenorio Call says, all the more reason for each household to start up their own garden to grow fruits and vegetables to add to their meals. My daughter just started growing tomatoes, eggplant, bell peppers, calamansi lemon, booney hot peppers, mango, avocado, green onions, and some herbs like parsley, Italian basil, Thai basil, and dill. Ooh, what a lot. There's nothing stopping people from eating healthy. You just need a little sweat and muscle to get a garden growing, even if it's just a potted garden. A big thank you to all of our teachers that continue to push through this pandemic for our students. Now let's do our part this weekend and stay at home if we can. Until next week, adios!
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, Janina Chris, a member of the Guam Track and Field Association. She's part of the national team. Cancer Awareness Month is something you hold dear to your heart because while your mother was going through treatment, you were competing in 2 major events representing Guam. Tell us about those competitions you attended and how much drove you to succeed in honor of your mom for those competitions.
Well, yeah, first of all, I didn't really want to train as much as I normally did. I didn't even want to really compete that season just because of what she was going through, and I felt really selfish doing that. But she's the one who kept pushing me to pursue my dreams, pursue my goals, just go ahead and go to the competition. She told me to go out and, give it my best because, God's given me talent. I should go out there and do what I love best. And she kept encouraging me. So that was my huge motivation when I got to my big races. I wanted to just, give it everything that I had and dedicate it to her. So I came out and I won my events in both competitions. I came away with 4 gold medals in the Micronesian Games in honor of her, and I'm so happy I had the opportunity to do that. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have done that.
So 2018 was a big year for you because following up those 4 gold medals, you had another successful showing in the competition right after that.
Yeah, that was a big game changer for me. I guess it really opened the doors for me, helped me realize what I was capable of doing. And then I came out in the Pacific Games last summer with a silver medal in the 1500. So yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity I had that 2018 to be able to shine under the lights and yeah.
Now your family is a big running family. Your brother, your sisters compete in high school. Your mom and your dad are also runners. And Cancer Awareness Month, you've always kind of motivated yourself to always take part in the Strides for the Cure event.
Yes. We had so many friends that have gone through cancer, and of course my mom included, and we are just really big supporters of that. And we try to go to the Strides for the Cure every year to be there for other people and in support of other people. Just remembrance of loved ones too that have passed from cancer too. And yeah, we usually go to that. Of course, with COVID, that's not happening this year, but we're there in spirit.
And you talk about an inspiration. Your mom is one of your biggest supporters. Having her behind you and having her support you, how does that feel knowing that you have the support of your mom? Wasn't at the time worrying about herself, but more focused on you and how you were going to perform in your competitions.
Well, it just made me realize how selfless she was. She's always thinking about other people, not just herself. She always put other people ahead of her. And, I wanted to, as much as possible, honor her in every way possible. at the competition, and you know, just to say thank you as well for all the years of the endless support and love she's given me, but especially during that time when I felt like she needed me the most. That's the time that she really pushed me to achieve my dreams even more so, and that really touched me.
How's your mom doing right now?
So right now she's healthy. She's in remission, and she's as healthy as possible. She decided to do treatment naturally. You know, before we put aside the conventional treatment and we decided to go naturally. And I think that was a good choice because she is doing so much better than ever, as opposed to when she was doing chemo. She was really sickly, and we just didn't see much improvement. So she's doing really good now. She's back at work and everything, and she's back into running too. So that's good to see how much progress she's made in the last 2 years.
And with some of the restrictions being lifted, are you and your family members out running and training now?
Yes, my brother and I are mostly into the whole running thing right now. My sisters have cut back a little bit, but every once in a while we do workouts together. And honestly, I really love doing it as a family because it motivates me so much. And you know, it just means so much more to be able to do it together, to achieve goals together. But yeah, right now, sometimes they do my speed workouts with me, and honestly, it's boosted my motivation for this season so much more. And I honestly can't wait to get back into competition whenever that happens.
Yeah, and when hopefully things do get back to normal, any competitions in mind that you have marked on your calendar that you're looking forward to hopefully participating in?
Well, the big one would be the Tokyo Olympic Games because they postponed that one. That's definitely of course, everybody's goal is the Olympics right now, and that's something that I'm continuing to chase after. Other than the Olympics, they scheduled the Pacific Mini Games, so I'm looking forward to that one. And believe Oceania Track and Field Champs is gonna happen next summer. So yeah, I'm chasing after those competitions and trying to be ready for any opportunity right now. So I'm continuing training as if there were a race right around the corner.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And before we close out tonight's news, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
It's the weekend, folks, so born on the 10th day of the 10th month, we say happy birthday to Isaiah Cunick. Happy birthday number 18. We are so proud of the young adult that you've become. Wishing you many more blessed and happy years from your loving mom and dad, brothers Isaiah, Bryson, Rowan, and sister Kendall Jo, also Grandma and Uncle Boone, and all your extended family. That's a lot of love going out to a very special woman. Happy 18th, Isaiah. And on Sunday the 11th, Ha'ani Sablan Kinoya. Happy Sweet 16, Ha'ani. Have a wonderful day. Wishing you good health and happiness. We love you so much. From Grandma, Bill, Mommy, Daddy, and the family. Zenny Santos, aka Mom and Grandma, has a happy birthday this weekend. And your shout out is we love you, coming from your children and in-laws and grandchildren from Guam, San Diego, and Colorado. They all say enjoy your day. That's a lot of love from a lot of different places. Awesome. Demarine Limpiaco, happiest of birthdays to my baby sister from her big brother Joe and the rest of the Conception Familia. We love you and miss you. Stay safe, sis. All right. And Diana Pig, happy birthday, Diana, from your sisters and the USD family. Hope each and every one of you has a great weekend. Relax, but stay home. Be safe. Have a wonderful weekend and have a happy birthday.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. That's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.